Hi guys, thanks so much for stopping by again to watch my video. I really appreciate your time and I value your time. For first timers, please subscribe. For my returning subscribers, I thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. As you know, I was recently in Egypt for a 1 week vacation. I just had a 1 week holiday from work, so I could only go for that short period. And some asked me why I didn't go to Kenya and all that. And I think I explained why. It just took me 4 hours, a little bit over 4 hours to fly from here to Egypt. So it's much more, how can I say, it was more value for my time because going to Kenya, from the minute I lock the door to the minute I reach home in Kenya, it take me about 15 hours. So that could have been 15 hours times 2, that is going back. So it wasn't really worth it for me. That's why I decided to go to Egypt. And I had been to Egypt in the past, in the Nile, and I really liked it. So this time I decided to go to the Arab Egypt. Let's call it that way. I don't know if you call it Sinai or Sinai, whatever you call it. So this time it was that part of Egypt. So I just wanted to share with you some things I learned on my way there and while I was there. First things, if you are going to Egypt on the Arab side, some people do not need visa. For example, I did not need a visa. I took the $25 which I thought I will need for the visa, but when I arrived, I learned that Swiss passport holders did not need a visa. And this goes also for German, Austria, and England. For the rest of the countries, I don't know, but for these 4 countries, I knew they don't need a visa. So I was excited to have $25 more to spend. So that was number one. Number two, you really have to, I don't know how to say this. When I booked my travel here, I booked online from lastminute.com. I don't know what went wrong. It was like almost 7 days. They didn't send me confirmation. They didn't even acknowledge receiving my money. So I called again. Is when they said they will send me the confirmation and all that. It still took a full day. So when the confirmation got here, I had booked to fly there with the Turkish Air. But when the confirmation got here, I saw that it had been changed. A lot had changed. Originally, I was to fly at 9 o'clock in the morning. But when the ticket confirmation came here, I was flying at 3 o'clock still. It didn't bother me that much. I thought, So another thing, they changed the flight. So instead of me flying with Turkish Air, on my ticket, they wrote that I will be flying from Zurich to Istanbul with the Pegasus Air, which I've never heard about. So they wrote from Zurich to Istanbul, it will be with Pegasus, and from Istanbul to Sharm el Sheikh, it will be with Turkish airline. not a big deal. But when I got to Zurich, I didn't even know this before. When I got to Zurich airport, I realized my flight had totally been changed, so that I was going from Zurich to Turkey and from Turkey to Egypt with Pegasus Air. And I I was a bit disappointed because flying from Zurich to Istanbul, I realized it's, what do you call them? These budget airlines. Now, I've traveled with a lot of budget airlines, but Pegasus just, they reduce the leg space even more. So by the time I reached Turkey, my feet were already painful. Then I thought, yeah, maybe they will change it, but no. I still flew from Istanbul with the Pegasus Air to Egypt, and it was the same thing. Terrible, horrible, horrible, no leg space. And I was just lucky this was not a long haul flight, because I don't know, my knees were painful, my legs were swollen. And remember, this is just a 5-hour flight combined, and it was just terrible, horrible. So as I said, then I got to Sharm el Sheikh quite early in the morning. It was about 2, or it was after 2. From there, they picked us with the hotel bus, which I had already also planned before I left here, because that's how I always do it when I travel. So they picked us, and I was the only one going to my hotel. So they dropped everyone. Most of the people were going to different hotels. So they dropped everyone, and they dropped me as the last person. And yeah, the next day, call it the next day, it's more or less the same day, because I reached the hotel at 4 o'clock. So in the morning, I already missed my breakfast, because although I had all inclusive, the breakfast finishes at 9 o'clock, which I find it's not really nice. I'm on holiday, and I don't want to wake up so early. So I just start to wake up earlier to get my breakfast before 9. So on the first day, I missed it. Another thing which was there, and I don't know, I don't know if it's the problem of the hotel or whatever, but the food was just cold every day. This I can't explain. They were not serving hot food, they were serving warm food. And this was really a problem for me, because when I'm eating hot food, I want hot food, not warm or cold. It was something between cold and warm, which I really didn't like, because I don't want to eat cold pasta and things like that. Anyway, that was that. My hotel was, oh my God, oh wow. Oh, I hope you have checked my other videos, and I will add some photos here. Oh, the hotel was lovely, really brilliant. But I was disappointed to find that the beach and the hotel are not together. You have to drive to reach the beach, which was a real disappointment to me personally. Um, and it was the first time I've been in a hotel where The beach is not right there in the hotel where you have to travel by car. It was just 1.8 kilometers, but still you had to go by car. And Egypt is so hot that although this is not a far off distance, you just can't walk there. Or for me personally, I just couldn't walk there because the heat is terrible. And remember, this is considered Egyptian winter, which made it not so hot, but it's still terribly hot because I've been to Egypt. Last time I was there, it was something like August, September. That was an oven. It was so hot you couldn't breathe in, or I couldn't breathe in. So this time they called it Egyptian winter, but it's still very hot. So that was that. Another thing I learned is that when you are going to Egypt, try not to go during Ramadan, because I was there last week, which is April, and they have Ramadan. So everything is closed during the day. Each and everything is closed. The streets are deserted. Um, Sometimes you may think, yeah, I would like to be in a place which is not so crowded. But it's another thing altogether to be on the street where you are the only person. You don't see anyone else in the street until after 6. So that was another issue. Something else, if you're going to visit Egypt, I don't even know how I can call this. The businesses rip you off. From every business wants to rip you off. It's just totally crazy. For example, I took a taxi and he asked me for 1,000 Egyptian pounds. And I thought, you must be crazy, get me out of here now. In the end, we end up agreeing on 100 pounds. So I hope you can understand. They really, every minute you don't, as soon as you let your guard down, they will really rip you off. I don't know if, I don't even know if I want to say this. I bought some spices and I don't know what else it was. And this person took from me 70 franc. Up to now, I just can't explain how he did it. Oh, I just want to go crazy because in total, I was supposed to pay him really, if I think right, that wasn't more than $10. But he ended taking from me $70, and I really don't know how it happened. Just 2 seconds of carelessness, and he just, I don't know how he confused me. So you really have to be careful when you are buying anything in Egypt. But still, even if you feel the price is right, always bargain, always bring the price down and down and down. And you know, they are always ready to bargain. So don't feel scared or something like that. No, they are really happy to do it because everything they sell, they start the price almost 4 times higher. So you have to bargain until you reach somewhere where you feel it's okay. And yeah, they will be happy to bargain with you. Another thing is oh, they are very, very, oh, they know how to smell money. They know how to look a face with money or something like that. I don't know. But you enter an Arab shop or an Egyptian shop, you see there are people there and all that, but immediately from experience, you come to know who is the boss and who is the attendant and things like that. So you will find that very soon the higher boss or the owner will rush to you. It's not as if you're the only person in the shop. They just know how to smell the money or how to, I don't know. Can I help you? They will start to show you things. Before you know it, they have made. Please sit down, because in all Arab shops, they have a sitting space for relaxation. They know how to enjoy life. So they will offer you to sit down. Very quick, they will offer you their coffee. They will offer you tea. And but in the end, you are just you are just money and nothing else. They did not welcome you there because you are a friend or whatever. They welcome you there trying to get your money, and they are so good salesmen that I don't even know how to explain this. You will go in the shop, they will really try to convince you to buy this and this. If you refuse, or when you finish buying, they will bring somebody else, or they will tell you, but look, my brother has this shop, so they will want to take you to another shop so that you can buy. So for example, okay, what? Let's see. I'll make a simple example with the fish. So you buy fish here. When you finish, they will tell you, okay, I only sell greens which you have bought. So now go to my brother's shop to buy cooking oil. And they are so good at it. They are so, oh, I don't even know how to explain it. They're very good salesmen. So it's like I said in one of my videos, I said, I hope everyone can learn from them. They really know how to sell. It's and they don't even show you that they're trying to just sell and sell and sell. They make it very nicely. And I don't know, but in the end, when you have spent your money there, it's like, oh, now I have a present for you, because they do have a lot of let's call it perfumes. They do have a lot of natural perfumes in Egypt. So when you finish buying, they might rush out of the shop, or they might give it in the shop. I have a present for you. And it's just a non-stop selling. And I remember the last shop where I was, is not the last, but still one of the shops where I was, he even gave me a very lovely dresses. I hope you remember it from my previous video. So they are really good salesmen. Now, I told you that some passports do not need a visa, but you have to understand this is only for them. What was the word? Arab Egypt. Yeah. If you are, because when I went, I did need a visa, but when I decided to go from Sharm el Sheikh to Cairo, then I needed a visa. So I had to go to drive back to the airport. And I explained to them that I need a visa. Then they gave then they gave me the visa, which I could use to go to Cairo. But thinking back, I wouldn't do it again. This was just a one-day travel. The visa cost me $25. That's something different. It could have cost me $25 anyway. But I hired a car. I didn't use a lot of brain. Hired a car to take me from Sharm el Sheikh to Cairo and back. And remember, this is a 7-hour drive minimum one way. So I hired a car to take me and back the same day. So it was just drive and drive and drive and no stopping. And something you have to understand, there are almost no stopovers on the way. So I don't know what I could have done if I had needed to use the toilet. There are just no stopovers. They are far between. So it's like, and this was hard drive really, because we had to get there and back. I wanted to get back. So it was a really hard drive. And as I said, I didn't use a lot of brain. I was in Cairo for 1 hour and driving back. So this cost me, just the car hire was 7,000 Egyptian pounds, which let me check how much it is in Swiss franc or in dollar. Excuse me, I'm with you. I just want to check the exchange rate. Exchange rate. 7,000. Let's see. Egyptian pound. Swiss franc to Egyptian pound. So that was a 359 Swiss franc, which is more or less $359. And that was not a lot of brain. I don't spend 300 Swiss franc plus to go in a place for 1 hour. And the worst part of it is that it could have just cost me 250 franc or a $250 if I had chosen to fly there and back. So it was really not, it was not a lot of brain there. I just lost some touch with the reality. But having said that, it's not as if I didn't know I could fly there. But I also wanted to experience the, what's the word? I wanted to experience the countryside here. So I thought if I fly, I will be on the air for 35 minutes or 40 minutes. Then I will be in Cairo and then back. So that was not really what I wanted. I wanted to experience the countryside, but thinking back now, it's not something I will do. And if I had to do it, I will fly one way and come back with the car the other way. So that was that. That was not a very good experience. Another thing you have to realize, the Egyptian supermarkets, it's hard to explain really. It's they are just empty. I visited so many different supermarkets, and most of the time, what you can really buy are sweets and some dry goods. Apart from that, you will really be disappointed. So don't expect to buy much in the supermarkets. The water sports. Oh, wow. The water sports is brilliant in Egypt because the sea is so clean that it doesn't matter if you are taking a boat or what, the sea is just so clean. And oh, that was, oh, I'm ready to go back to Egypt today. Anyway, the boat rides, you can also negotiate the price. Everything in Egypt is negotiable. I was surprised that even in the airport, in the duty free, I could negotiate the price. That really surprised me. But yeah, almost everywhere you can negotiate the price. Another thing worth mentioning are let me call them the beach boys. We call them beach boys in Kenya. I don't know what you call them in Egypt. Oh, God. You arrive in the beach less than 2 minutes there and there trying to sell you one thing or the other, and they just don't stop. When this one finished, the next one comes, and the next, and the next, and it just drives you crazy. And remember, if you say no to this one, they will try to sell you whatever they can. And if you can't, then they will say, okay, my brother is coming. My brother have something different to sell you. So it's just, and I also have to say, maybe because I was a new face, maybe because I was a different face. What will surprise you is that even right now, there are a lot of Russians in Sharm el Sheikh making holiday. So maybe they had been there for a while, I don't know. So, but at the beach, maybe because I was a different face and all that, I just had non-stop salesmen. And it really gets tiring. Really is not easy. Something else worth mentioning is that, I don't know, but this is my opinion. You can't buy a lot in Egypt. You can buy perfumes. They really have a lot to offer, and the touristy things. But apart from that, there's really not a lot you can buy. It's like, I don't know how to say it. Yeah, they have their sweets and their chocolates which they're selling, and that's that. Apart from that, it gets a little difficult. When you are shopping, they take every currency. Every currency, what I mean is, I know they take euro, they take Swiss franc, they take dollars, and they take Egyptian pounds. It's totally not a problem everywhere you go. And they don't rip you off with the exchange rate, at least that one. Because, for example, there are places if you are trying to shop with the foreign currency, they will really try to rip you off. That's not a case in Egypt. They really give you the proper exchange rate. So you don't even need to change the local currency, but at the same time you need local currency for these small things you will buy. Because remember, for example, I use Swiss franc, so Swiss franc starts at either coins or 10 francs. So if I buy something very small, then I don't know how I'm going to give 10 francs. So for that reason, I changed my money into Egyptian pounds, but you can do just as well without changing into Egyptian pounds. So my experience in general, I told you you have to bargain everything. So when I went to rent a horse in Cairo, and I don't speak Arabic, and my driver, who was from the hotel, was the spokesperson. So we got there, and he asked the price and all. Then the owner of the horses thought that maybe I'm an easy target. So he didn't address my driver. He addressed me and said he wants $120. And they went on speaking in Arabic, loud voices. I didn't know what was going on, but it was. Then my driver just said, "Get up, we go." And I was thinking, what is this now? I really somehow got scared. And remember, this was not on the street. We went to the stables, so we were welcomed in a small house there. So I really seriously got scared because I didn't understand what they were talking about, but I realized they were fighting. Then he just said, "Get up, we go." And I was, okay, okay, what is the problem? Then he said, "No problem, let's go." So I got up, and then the stable owner followed us. He was an old man. And then my driver just said, "Give him 400 Egyptian pound." I gave him 400 Egyptian pound. I didn't know if they had agreed about the horses or anything, but I was just happy to get out of there. This was a private house in a very small private street that I was even asking myself, why am I really there? So from $120, which he was demanding, I only paid £400. And it was time to visit the pyramids. So we were there. I was finished with the pyramids and I'm on my way back. Um, we visited different shops. And no, we didn't visit shops. We just, from the pyramids, we just drove straight because we didn't want to get caught up in the Cairo traffic. When we got to the outskirts of Cairo, we tried to find a restaurant. There was nothing. It's open, but how can I say? The main door is open, but you find that they put chairs in front to show that it's closed and there is no one inside. Then it was a collection of different restaurants. Then I went, there was a, what do you call them? Quick shop, because there was also a big tankstelle versus petrol station. I went to the quick shop and I had already learned that they call bathroom hammam. So I went to there and I asked if I could use the hammam. When I took a little time because there were also 3, 4 ladies who were there before me. So when I got out, my driver was gone and I was horrified. Hey, and remember, I'm in a foreign country. The only thing I have is my passport and the money I could use, nothing else. I didn't have a phone because I just didn't have a phone. And I was horrified. I panicked. And another thing is, I didn't have the hotel telephone number. Don't ask me why. Maybe I was just being careless. I moved around and around and around, and I just started talking to myself, and I was panicked. And people started looking at me because I was the only black person there. In my city here, it's rare to see black people, but you will still see them. But there in Egypt, from the day I arrived to the day I came back, I only saw one black person. So I was just different. I was just me. I was just different. Then one man saw me, came and asked me if there is a problem. He spoke English. Then I say, yes, there is a problem. Then he asked me, what is the problem? So I tried to explain that I came with the driver and he was like, yeah, no problem. Call another taxi. Then I said, no, no, no. I came from Sharm el Sheikh with this driver to Cairo and he has to bring me back to the hotel. Then he was like, yeah, call your hotel. Then by this time, I didn't even realize I don't know the hotel telephone number. And I just say, oh, I don't have a telephone. Then he offered me his telephone. Then I was like, I don't know the hotel telephone number. Really, I seriously panicked. And by this time, we were already between Cairo and Sharm el Sheikh. I think we had already done halfway. So I was there half hour. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, and the driver is gone. Hey, in the end, he just drove in, and I didn't even ask where he had been because I was so relieved. Remember, the Arab Egypt is 100% desert. There is not a single tree. You don't see a single bird. You don't see a single grass, nothing. It's just this sand and hills, and that's that. So I was thinking I've been abandoned in the desert, and at the same time, I thought if he wanted to throw me away, where did he throw me away where there is civilization? He could have thrown me away in the middle of nowhere. So I was somehow grateful that he had thrown me away in the petrol station. But as I said, when he came back, I was so relieved I did not ask a question. He just said, you didn't see me, but I'm not stupid. He was not there. And I saw him driving in. So I just don't know where he went, but he was gone. That took about, I'm not sure, but I didn't even check the time. Maybe because I was panicked, it looked longer, but I think it was about half an hour where I was just pure terrified. Anyway, from there, again, we continued lonely, long journey going back to the hotel. And I was worried. I was sitting in the back all along, and I realized um, the man was always playing very loud music. Then I asked him, and he said, so that he don't sleep. Remember, we left the hotel at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know why, but somehow along the way, I also started to doze, and I just felt the car skidding, and I screamed. How? This scream you could have. And I don't know if it's my scream that woke him up or the car skidding, but this had been such a long drive, and it's hot, and he has his Ramadan. So he just fell asleep on the wheel. Ah, oh God, the scream. But then I did not again discuss it. I just said, please be careful. And that was that. I didn't say another word. We kept going on and on. And then another time I realized again he stopped the car, got out with water. Then I didn't know what was going. Then I said, you okay? Then he said, no, I need to wash my face. Then I just knew again he's very sleepy. And I didn't know what to do. It was really not a very wise decision to drive to Cairo. So he washed his face. We kept going. Then we reached another petrol station. It was around maybe 3 o'clock. Then he just decided, I realized he decided he couldn't go on because we went out. I asked again to use the hammam, and he bought food, which is this stale bread, these boring breads which they have. He bought bread and coffee and what else? And water. So I realized he had just decided to stop the Ramadan, which was, in my opinion, very wise. Remember, this was an older Arab man or older Egyptian. So I was also, he was very respectful, full, and I was also respectful, and I kept my distance. So even this time when he broke the Ramadan, I really didn't ask, but I just saw it and I knew. So that was that. Another thing you have to remember in Egypt, like I said, it depends with which part of Egypt you are. So when you are traveling from the Arab part of Egypt to the other side, from the Sinai to the other side, Sinai is what they call the Arab Egypt. So when you are crossing to go to Cairo, when you start the journey, when you are getting out of Sharm el Sheikh, you reach a police post. I gave my passport, he gave his own and the driving details and all that. They gave him maybe, I don't know if there were 10 different papers or what, but all the 10 papers are the same thing with my name, address, and all. So I don't have an address, and I just had the name and the hotel name, nothing else. But he gave his name and details and phone number and all. So then they gave him 10 different papers, or they were the same 10 or so papers. So every time you reach a police checkpoint, you have to give one of those papers, because on that first stop, they fill every detail. So every police station you reach, you give them one of those papers which the first police check filled for you. So it's just, I asked and he said it's just to make sure you are safe, to make sure nothing happened to you from, I don't know, uh, let's call it from one district or one province or one state to the next. Although I don't know what is a state or district, because from the moment we left Sharm el Sheikh to the moment we reached Cairo, it was pure desert. There were 3, 4 stopovers which are empty apart from the toilet and the gas stations. But apart from that, nothing. There was no town you could see in the horizon or anything. And I was even wondering where these police go in the evening, because these control places are just in the middle of nowhere, really, totally in the middle of nowhere. And even if you check at a distance, you can check from, you don't see any barracks or any town or anything. So I didn't even know how they get there in the mornings and get back in the evenings. I don't know, because you could look and look, you don't see any town. So I think they just have to make the several hours drive, reach there, then go back in the evening. So another thing is, as I said, more or less, you know, many Black people don't travel as much. So in Egypt, more or less, maybe if I was in Cairo, it could have been different, but in Sharm el Sheikh, I was just me, the only Black person I could see around. So every time I passed these police controls, it was like they always said the shagala, and my driver will say, I don't know, he will speak in Arabic and say Swiza ilmikato. So that was just that I didn't even understand the Arabic, but they always said shagala. So it was like, where are you taking the shagala or whatever? And he would repeat, no, she's a Swiss. We went to Cairo. I'm taking her back to Hotel Il Micato. So that was, it was just everywhere we stopped. They just don't see anyone and stay quiet. It was, he always had to explain. Although he always had to give these control papers, he still at the same time had to explain. So that was that. Yeah, what else did I not cover? I don't know. Will I visit Egypt again? This is hard to say, but it's lovely. It's really lovely, especially the water sports is something you have to experience. Uh, this desert drive is a punishment. Oh God. For people looking for adventure, maybe they will like it. But for me personally, I don't know. This drive from Sham to Cairo and back it was really punishing to the body. And I don't think spending, in total, it was about 400 francs. I don't think spending 400 francs is worth it to go to a place for just 1 hour. So it was just too expensive. I know, like I said, it could have been cheaper if I flew there, but I just wanted a different experience. But it's really not something I would advise anyone to do. And if you are doing it, if you are going to drive from Sham to Cairo, take your food with you, take your refreshment with you. It's this I you know, a desert is a desert, but extreme desert, 13 hours non-stop is crazy. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed my how I experienced Egypt. The time was so short, but yeah, that was that. So did I say please you should subscribe to my channel? It will really help me out. So go ahead and do that. So now I will cover something about the hotels. I find it terrible, terrible, terrible that you have to check out of the hotel after midnight. My flight back was at 3 o'clock, so it meant leaving the hotel after midnight. So, in my opinion, I don't know how to say this. They just stole a full day from me. It's not the hotel, but it was the place I booked the travel because I booked to come back on 11th, but they arranged it so that 11, 11th meant, not 11th, what was the date? Oh, egal. I don't remember, but it was like this. I was coming back on Saturday. So to me, it was like when I booked the flight, it was like I will be leaving Egypt at 3 in the afternoon. No, I don't remember the exact time, but it was somewhere there. But on Saturday, but after I had booked the flight, like I said, I don't know what went wrong because it took them over 5 days to confirm my payment and all that. So when I booked the flight and when it came here, they just took 1 day away from me. So I flew back on Friday instead of Saturday, which I just find is was not very fair. Yeah. Another thing is how can I say it? I told you I went through Turkey. On my way back, it was still the same Pegasus Air, and oh, I've traveled with budget airlines. I've used EasyJet and Ryanair, but this Pegasus is just it's just so you don't have leg space at all. Still, what I learned in Turkey, when you order food, um, when I was on the transit, you order food, then they will say, go sit down, we'll bring it, because they really have a lot of customers like every airport. So it's like, go sit down. What's your name? Then you tell them the name. Then they say, go sit down. It's not yet ready. So there you are sitting down. They are there. Then they will shout your name. And I just learned something. Don't, if you have these complicated names, just give them a simple name like John or Sam or Anna, because you are sitting at a table, they are there in the counter, and they will shout your name, and they shout it in a way that you will not even know it's your name. That was it was funny, really. They will shout the name and they can't pronounce it, so they will be calling you, but you will not realize it's your name. So I thought, oh, I've learned something. Next time I'm there at the airport and they say, just go sit down, we are getting your food ready, I will just give a simple name like Anna, so they can shout this and I will, because really you can't hear the words they say, and it was yeah. Anyway, um, from Turkey, the flight was okay until I reached Zurich, and I have to say I was happy to get home, and I'm already thinking of going back to Egypt. Oh, it's crazy I said that loud, but yeah, I liked it so much, and I felt cheated because remember, I got there at 4 o'clock in the morning and they counted that as 1 day. Then instead of leaving on a Saturday, I left on Friday night. They still call it a day. So I really lost 2 days and I had only booked for 6 days, which meant on the real time I was there was only 4 days. For that reason, I have decided I will save very hard, and the first chance I get, I will be going to Egypt again because oh, I loved it. I really did. Anyway, that's what I'm saying right now. Maybe, maybe when the time comes, maybe when the time comes, I will want to go somewhere different. I don't know, but for right now, because I was really cheated of my holiday, and it's crazy to think of. But if you remember one of my videos in the airport, I told you I still have quite a lot of Egyptian pounds. So I will just turn them. This is 200 Egyptian pounds. This is 200. So it was like I just came back with quite a lot of Egyptian pounds that I didn't know. Oh, how do they arrange money? Wait. So I just came back with a lot of money that I'm not sure what to do with, but I will see. And just in case I'm going back to Egypt, then I will still have some money, some Egyptian pounds. If not, then I don't know. If not, then when I travel anywhere, I will drop them at the Red Cross boxes in the airports. Then they will, it will work much better than, because I don't see any other thing to do with it. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate your time, and I hope you enjoyed this video. But once again, if you are visiting a foreign country, don't change too much local money that you will have nothing to do with, because this is almost 100 francs or $100, and it's a shame that it will be sitting here. I don't know what to do with it, but still, thanks so much for stopping by, and I really appreciate your time. If you have any questions, leave me a message below. Otherwise, thanks so much, and talk next time. Bye-bye.